Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we've got another one for you in our beginners series, Divi for Beginners, and you can find that playlist just down below this video. Today, we're going to talk about Z-index. I've got three elements there. If I hover over one, it's going to jump on top of the other one. If I hover over the middle one, it'll be on top. If I hover over the last one, it'll be on top too. Really easy thing to do, especially if you're stacking elements like this or if you've got a fixed position icon or something like that. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. Once enabled, let's roll down to where we want to work. And I'll just add a new row down below here. In my row, I'm going to have three little columns as I have above. And again, I'm going to use a call to action module. I'm just going to put a link in so the button shows up there. Fantastic. Let's just duplicate this a couple of times. Two little squares to duplicate. Drag one of them across. Doesn't matter which one. They're all identical. And we'll drag another one across. Grab the little X with your left mouse. Release it where you want to put it. Great. Well, let's overlap these. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go in the row, take the gutters away to make this a little bit easier. That way they'll be sitting directly next to each other. So I've gone into the green tab for the row. I'm going to go over to Design, Sizing, use a custom gutter width. I'm going to drag it all the way down. They're now actually touching. Great. Just so you can see the difference, let's give them all a different background color. I go into this module, background's always under content there. Let's make that one purple perhaps. Yeah, we'll go into this one. Turn the background. Let's find a different color. Let's use that light blue perhaps. Okay, so we've got our three little elements there. Let's say we want to overlap them like we've done above. Well, we showed you how to do this with negative margin yesterday. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to save this, we'll go into the middle one. I'm just going to scoot it up by 50 pixels. So on the top, I'm going to give it negative 50. Great. But I want to overlap these on top of that one. So we'll go into this one. I'm going to get negative 50 on the right and positive 50 on the left. That's pushed it over behind that one. I'm going to do exactly the same, or in fact the opposite for this one. So on the left I'll get it negative 50 and regular 50 on the right. And as you can see, those are overlapping. Let's just save that. That's all very well and good, but you can't read some of the text there because they're overlapping, and the one on the right is always going to be on top of the others. So we can use Z-index to position those. Firstly, I'd like the one in the middle to be in front at all times. So I'm actually going to go into the row itself. I find the Z-index works better on columns than it does on the individual modules. So I'm going to go into the row. Here's our three columns. I want to go to my middle column there, over to advanced. You'll always find Z-index in advanced position. There it is right there. And the way Z-index works is you can pull things to the front or back using it. Something with a higher number will always appear on top of something with a lower number. So as you can see, this particular module's got a default, or this column I should say, has got a default of 2. Let's give it perhaps 12. And you see that's popped on top of our other modules there. Great, just exactly what I wanted. But what I'd like to happen is I want initially this to be on top. Then when you hover over any of these other two here, I want them to pop on top so you can read all of the text, because some of the text is being cut off. Left hand side there, right hand side there. So we can do that really easily. We can create a hover effect in most elements by hovering over the dark writing. It's common to all Divi modules, rows, sections. If there's a little arrow there, click on it. Give you 2 tabs. There's a desktop and a hover. Desktop's when your mouse is not on it. 12's fine. When they put their mouse on it, just make sure it's going to pop on top of the others. I'm going to give it 20. Now I'm going to go into these other 2. Column 1, advanced, position, roll down to Z index. Again, I'm going to get the hover state up, little arrow right there. Make sure you're on Z index, not any of these other things. Desktop, well, I want this to remain on top, so I'm going to give it 10 when the mouse is not on it. And then when the mouse is on it again, I'm going to give it that 20. As you can see, that's popped that one up over there. I'll do exactly the same one for this one on the right. Column number 3. Down to position. Roll down to Z index. Again, I'm going to get the little arrow up. Regular state. I'm going to give it 10. Desktop. Click on the hover state. And we're going to give that 20. And again, that's popped on top there. Fantastic. Just what we wanted. Now, while I'm in the row, I'm going to give it a bit of breathing space. It's a bit close to that one on top. Design, spacing. Give it 100 pixels margin on the top. And the same for the bottom. Fantastic. Just to demonstrate this further, let's put this in a new section. So I'm going to add a new section, little blue button to add a new section. I'm going to make it a regular section. I'm not going to put anything in there. I'm just going to drag this whole row down there. Okay, now we've got that in a new section. I'm going to go up to this little section above. I'm going to add a new little row. I've got a single column in my row. I'm going to throw an icon in there. We'll put it up in fixed position. Let's just use a down arrow. I want to make my row the same size as my icon because, again, this tends to work better if you use the row. So if I save that, well, let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's make perhaps 50 pips. Let's go into the row just so you can see what's happening. I'm going to give it a background color. That's the whole row right there. I'm going to go to my sizing. I'm going to actually make the width of this row just 50 pixels. So we know that icon's 50 pixels. It's put in percent there. Replace that with pixels. Great. And we can close up sizing. Just take any padding away top and bottom by putting a 0 in there and hitting the chain. Great. Now that's the size of our whole row there. I'm going to get rid of that background. Now you know what's going on. I'm going to go over to advanced and give it a fixed position. Down to position again. I'm going to change it from relative to fixed. Disappeared. It's up under our little header right there. We've got a little matrix here. You can put it where you want. Let's put it in the middle of this left side. There it is. Now if I roll down this side now, that's fine. It's staying on top of all the sections. Oh, it's disappeared there. It's disappeared down in this section that we just built. So we can easily fix that. If we roll back down till it's disappeared, I can roll down to the Z index there. Just roll it up until it appears. Fantastic. Once it's appeared, you're good to go. Just make sure it's not going to stay on top of the footer there or the header. Well, that's fine. Everything else on the site, it'll stay exactly where it is. Perfect. So there's another example of using Z index to make things appear on top of each other. So before we quit, let's save our changes and make sure this is all going to work on the front end here. Little purple button. Save. We'll exit the visual builder. There's our little icon as we roll down. Great, it's on top of everything. There's the 3 little call to actions we built when we hover over. That one's going to be on top. When we hover over this one, it'll be on top. And the last one will be on top too. So there's a few examples of using Z index with the Divi theme. Great way if you have trouble, like I say, things overlapping and not appearing in the right places. You can pull the Z index up and get it working quite easy. Do bear in mind though, it does tend to work better with columns and rows than it does with individual modules. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video like this one. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.